is presented by NerdWallet as we welcome you inside the Kaseya Center. The Cavaliers and the Heat. Take a look at the playoff picture in the Eastern Conference. How about Gary Trent Jr. last night? He balled out, made 9 threes, and then Paolo and Franz were outstanding for the Magic to get back into that series. Evan Mobley, the Defensive Player of the Year in the NBA.
And he, partner, is a difference maker on both sides of the ball.
First in Cavs history. Hi, everyone. Matt Devin alongside Greg Anthony, along with Taylor Rooks as well here on this Saturday. And when you look at the Miami Heat heading into today's game, how do they get back in it?
Matt, they've got to channel their second half sense of urgency that we saw in game 2, and they're going to need a hero. Tyler have to continue to play of urgency, has to be there.
Changing the starting lineup, no Darius Garland, Sam Merrill, Wiggins, Adebayo, and Ware. Let's send it over to Taylor Rooks with more on Darius Garland.
Thanks, Matt. You said it. Sam Merrill will be starting in his place. And Kenny Atkinson said that he is an underappreciated player in this league. Said he expects him to bring high energy, that he plays hard, that he has defended really well this series, specifically against Tyler Hero. And now with Darius out, Donovan, nobody is going to feel sorry for them with this injury. Said that if they are going to be a championship team, it was just in these moments, guys.
And there's a lot of chatter after game 2. Darius Garland said, you know, you pick on Tyler Hero, and Hero said, you know, somebody who doesn't play defense shouldn't be talking, and he don't play D. Well, we'll have to wait for that a little bit later, maybe in this series, as Garland potentially returns. But here on this Saturday, it's the Cavs and the Heat, with the Cavs leading 2-0. This is a Cavaliers team, 3rd best road record during the regular season. In the Miami Heat, only 19-22 here at home. Only playoff team without a winning record at home.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine that the Heat have been that poor here at home. And let's see if the script can flip here in the postseason.
Davion Mitchell starting his second consecutive game for the Miami Heat. He was tremendous in the 4th quarter. They cut it to 2 late, but were not able to overcome that deficit. Hero cut off in the quarter. Adebayo in the corner 3 is good. Just 2 of 10 in the series from downtown. A good sign early.
It is, but he had a huge impact on the game. Not necessarily scoring in game 2, but 14 rebounds and 9 assists. So his impact was felt.
Kenny Atkinson has talked about composure throughout when we have spoken to him, and they were able to maintain that early after that lead in game 2, 16-9, but he knows it'll be different here on the road.
Yeah, you get a different sense of energy from the home team, especially one down 2-0, so there should be
Allen with the slam dunk right over Ware.
And how about the attack there, and then to get him in that pocket for the finish. So you can see Cleveland here early on extending their pressure, trying to force Miami to play more one-on-one.
Adebayo, his 77th career playoff game, bats it in. He has come out strong.
And what I like about that possession, Matt, they need what I call exhale possessions, where a guy can just go win a one-on-one matchup and not have to stress their half-court offense.
Donovan Mitchell struggled from 2 in game 2, but from 3 he was lights out. Hero, and over the fingertips of Davion Mitchell. And how about this with Allen? You mentioned it.
Yeah, you know, not known as an offensive player, but you can see just gets Ware to commit enough, does Strus, and then a perfect find there for the finish.
Mobley stretching it out, 37% the last 2 seasons from downtown. Misses that one. Hero in the paint. Hero bucket, and a great start for the Heat.
Yeah, another possession where their transition, it's not always the initial burst, but you get a favorable matchup and don't allow that defense to set.
That one sails over Allen. Mitchell finds Hero, back over to Davion Mitchell underneath. And The bucket is good for Khalil Ware, the rookie.
And one thing you notice early, the pace. A lot of their possessions, the Heat, are being finished within the first 7-8 seconds of the shot clock.
Mobley fading, and the rebound for Ware. Cleveland gets back in transition. Hero with it, Strus on him. Former teammates here in Miami. And a travel too many steps. One of the things Kenny Atkinson also mentioned to us was you can't have a 7-point lead extend to 17, right?
Yeah. And the advantage Cleveland has, you see Eric Spoelstra there, doesn't like a few of these possessions, but he's got to like their energy early, is that their ability to shoot the three is such a weapon that it allows you to take off some of those long runs and squash them before they really get going.
I mean, speaking to Eric Spoelstra, it's like, you just know there's a confidence level there. It's like, we've been here before, right? We've been in Miami. We've been here before.
And they're accustomed to being in the play-in the last few years to have to battle to get to this point. But there is a level of confidence that this group plays with.
Rising up, Adebayo shot off the mark as Allen will clear it to Donovan Mitchell. 7-point lead for the Heat. Cleveland 1 of 5 from the field, now 1 of 6 as Ware tracks that one down. Davion communicating with Andrew Wiggins. Can he get going? Was great in the play-in. First 2 games has struggled in this series. Mobley on the run.
And you can sense early how they missed Garland's ability to get into the teeth of the defense.
He has been outstanding through the first 2 games as Ware knocks down that 3-ball. During the regular season, Cleveland 4-3 without Darius Garland. Mitchell off the mark. Wiggins.
They're such a great team. They can overcome that because of the depth.
Yes.
But in the postseason, you prefer to have a on the floor.
At 27 in game 1, 21 in game 2 for the Cavs. Wiggins cut off by the length of Mobley. Shot clock down. Merrill on Hero. Hero gets by him. Floater doesn't go. Batted out and controlled by the Cavs.
Yeah, they're getting matchups that they want, are the Heat here early on.
Mitchell misses with the 3, tracked down by Davion Mitchell. Pushing it up. There's Wiggins in the corner with an open look.
They're getting a lot of good looks. I like the pace from Miami here early on. Cleveland just hasn't found their rhythm yet offensively.
0-5 from 3. Here's Mitchell with the left, denied by Wiggins, and a foul.
And even though he doesn't get that finish, it's Mitchell's attack that oftentimes creates the opportunity on that second chance.
Timeout on the floor. First round coverage on TNT is presented by Nerf. 8-point lead for the Heat early on in game 3. Here's Chuck with a word from FanDuel.
Glad Kenny's not here today. Don't forget to download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. It's the best place for all live betting and same-game parlays, and it pays out instantly. Today's question, who wins, the Cavs or the Heat? I'm going with the Heat.
He put the guarantee on it, and he's like, and he likes the solar camera he doesn't have to share with the Jet.
He likes to be up for everybody to see what he calls his money maker. But you know what that means by him picking the Heat. It could be 3-0 after this one. Oh, man, what a downer.
Miami folks did not want to hear that here in South Florida as Allen is at the line. Ty Jerome checks in. DeAndre Hunter in as well for Cleveland. Wiggins trying to shed Merrill. Pulls up, the 3 is good. He needed that.
Yeah, and they need him, because when he sees the ball go through the basket, it just kind of unleashes his athleticism, makes him a better basketball player.
Ty Jerome on the attack.
That's looking more like Ty Jerome looked in game 1, where he was electric for this Cavs team.
28 points, 16 in the 4th quarter. Hunter back outside. Hunter makes a move, and it rolls in. Andre Hunter, how big he was in game number 2 at both ends for them.
Yeah, a terrific two-way player. And one of the strengths of this Cavs team, right, is they don't lose anything when they go to their bench. Is Mitchell unable to knock down that mid-range. And oftentimes they get better just because of matchups and guys coming off the bench.
Strus lets loose, and the 3 is good.
And there you go. With Ty Jerome, you get a little more playmaking than what you're going to have with Merrill as the second guard. And now the Cavs offense starting to flow.
7-0 run by the Cavaliers. Top 3-point shooting team on the road. Better than 38%. The Cavaliers, and a chance here to tie or take the lead. As we head to the 5-minute mark, Allen right to the bucket, and a timeout taken by Eric Spoelstra in the Heat, and he's not pleased.
Now the Cavs doing a great job of opening up the weak side, so when they run that elbow pick and roll, there is no help coming over to stop Allen there on the road.
First round coverage on TNT is presented. Haywood Highsmith in, Pella Larson in as well for Eric Spoelstra. Run put together by the Cavaliers, tied at 15. Dean Wade checks in for Cleveland. Adebayo. And he's going to lose it. Scooped up by Jerome. Great initial D by Allen as Hunter rises up, and the 3 is good. And the Cavs lead by 3.
How good that quickly with Jerome and Hunter coming in. That's the 4th assist for Ty Jerome, and then also Hunter 5 points.
12-0 run and a turnover on a travel by Andrew Wiggins. It's their first lead, the Cavaliers.
Yeah, and the other thing that's happened too, Matt, is now the game's slowing down. It's allowing Cleveland to kind of set their defense. They're not giving up anything in transition, and Hunter, who didn't have a great offensive game 1, has quietly gotten better as this series, I should say, is progressing.
Had a dozen on Wednesday night at home against the Heat. Ty Jerome gets in the paint, batted out by Dean Wade and scooped up by Jerome. Hero on him. Strus puts it on the deck, gets by Larson, and then underneath to Allen on the cut in the bucket.
Just another great decision, and I love how Allen is spacing the paint right now, finding the cracks in the defense to give his team an outlet at the rim.
Hero and a foul. Now the Cavaliers.
And you can see here, look at this nice pocket. You see how, because of that attack, that Miami baseline defense has to come up a step or two higher, and it allows Allen to kind of get behind him and just find a crack there, and doing a great job of finishing.
4 of 4 from the field, has 10 points, half of the Cavs' productivity here in this first quarter. Miami led by 9, but yet very much like game 2, they withstood the punch of the Heat, and the Cavs grabbed the lead. And a blocking foul on Dean Wade, called by Rodney Mott, one of our 3 officials here today. John Goble, Bill Kennedy, and Rodney Mott, our crew.
And one thing you're seeing here as the Heat have gone to the bench, they've got to be able to win one-on-one matchups, meaning they've got to be able to get into the paint, break down that defense, and try to force the Heat into, or the Cavs in the rotation. You can see right now they're struggling. They can't get the ball into the paint. And credit the Cavs defensively. You know, you look at them, they have guys out there that are doing a hell of a job defensively that you may not necessarily look at as a defender, but they're disciplined and they understand who they have on that back line.
Nikola Jovic checks in. Saw a lot of time in game number 2, 25 minutes. The most since the 3rd week of February. On the inside, Mobley just getting into the teeth of the D.
They've been doing such a good job. And it's partly because they have to, the Heat, extend on that pick and roll with Jerome. And that just creates an angle there for Mobley and Allen to take advantage.
16-0 run by Cleveland. Hero trying to get by Mobley, loses it, and another turnover. It's been an issue in this series for the Heat. That's their 6th. The cut. Up at the rim.
Right now, they are just in such a great rhythm offensively, but it's because of what they're doing defensively. They are locked in and really disrupting this Heat's offense.
Trapped Wiggins, Larson now with 3, and that ends the 18-0 run.
How about it?
Jovic to Hero going end line. The NBA on TNT is brought to you by the Kia Telluride X-Line, Kia official automotive partner of the NBA. So Hero to the line, had 33 in game 2. Only 2 trips to the line on a Wednesday. His first here is good.
Tyler Hero to get going, but what's been key is when Mitchell's not out there, Davion Mitchell for the Heat, the tempo slows down, and then it allows the size of the Cavs to kind of squeeze that Heat offense. You saw that last possession, they get a defensive rebound, they can get out in transition. I think pace is so important for the Heat. It creates cross matches. It doesn't allow the Cavs to kind of lock in and get 5 sets of eyes on the basketball. Because right now their offense is struggling to create offense, and that's important for the Heat. They don't have a lot of guys that can consistently beat great one-on-one defenders. They've got to be able to execute in the half court.
0 fast break points for the Miami Heat, 5 for the Cavs. A deep 3. Jerome doesn't go. Wade saves it to Mobley. Mobley. Bucket.
How about the effort by Wade there to run down that loose ball to create another possession, and Mobley delivers on the triple.
Hero cut off by Wade. Redirect, spins, foul line. Tough shot with Wade draped all over him.
But again, another possession where they can't get into the paint. They're just doing such a great job of moving their feet laterally and bodying up.
Foul there, and they've only turned over the Cavaliers 1 time, the Miami Heat. You talked about creating pace, getting out and going, and they have not been able to do that here in this opening quarter.
And one of the issues, though, for Miami defensively is because of a dynamic player like Donovan Mitchell, Ty Jerome, their ability to turn the corner defensively and then take advantage of their size on that back line with Mobley and Allen.
First is good. His first point, Donovan Mitchell. TNT is your new home for Roland Garros. Watch the stars of the tennis world descend on Paris beginning May 25th on TNT and stream on Max. Misses a second. 0 of 4 here in this opening quarter from the field. Mitchell. Adebayo with it. Davion to Mitchell up top. Working with Bam. Pulls up. Shot doesn't go.
Yeah, but that's still better offense. That's a better look than they have been creating here in the last few possessions.
Jerome directing traffic. Stutter step in the paint by Jovic. The bigger Jovic, and Jerome, great job manipulating there in the paint.
That's a great call. He's so crafty, and he knows how to use his size. He can get you on his hip, and he can play from that position.
Highsmith with Hunter on the scene. Jovic. And a turnover, digging in on the double. Ty Jerome, trap, gets it to Wade. And a timeout taken with the Cavs up by 10.
And it's been the Cavs defense here that's been dictating the pace of this game.
10-point lead for the Cavs. Let's take a look at our FanDuel live point spread for today's game. Start of the game, 5.5, currently 11.5. The Cavaliers live point spread. And Ty Jerome coming off of the bench, 4 points, 5 rebounds. Hunter with 7. Hunter into Ty Jerome, along with Mobley, Donovan Mitchell, Max Strus. Slight difference, game clock, shot clock. Shot clock down. Strus, the three, got it at the end of this opening quarter. A 13-point lead. The Cavs end the quarter on a 27-5 run over the last 6:30, Greg.
That is the reason why they have one of the 2 best records in the league.
The 2025 NBA playoffs are presented by Google. The second quarter, moments ago, Taylor Rooks was joined by Jared Allen.
All right, Jared, in the midst of that 27-5 run in the huddle, you all were saying great response. What changed?
Just our defensive intensity. I feel like we picked it up, caused a lot of turnovers, and capitalized off of them.
And like you said, your defense is really leading to good offense. What do you need to continue to do on that end of the floor?
All right, just push the ball and share the ball. Every time we got 1 or 2 more passes in the offense, we got a good shot or a layup.
Thank you so much. Back to you.
GA, 7 first quarter turnovers leading to 12 points.
That and then the second shot opportunity. So they're +5 on the second shots as Donovan knocks down the triple. +10 off the turnovers. And that's just a formula for success, and one that the Heat will not be able to overcome if they can't show up, particularly taking care of the basketball.
Up 16 now. Davion Mitchell. Strus in front of him. Duncan Robinson checking in. Clock down. It's going to be a shot clock violation. The 8th turnover by Miami. They now have 36 in this series.
And you can just see how disciplined defensively this Cavs team is. They know the personnel, and they are not allowing the Heat to play the style they want to play.
Heat get it stopped. Cavs back in transition. Adebayo with Mobley draped all over him. Highsmith, the shot doesn't go.
You can say, I mean, a lot of times in the regular season, you know, it'll tell you who you can be, but the postseason really does tell you who you are. And you can see that offensively, this Heat group struggling just to generate good looks here against this stifling Cavs defense.
Strus puts it on the deck. Wraparound pass over to Hunter. Clock down over Highsmith. And Hunter has arrived here in South Florida.
How good has Hunter and Ty Jerome, when he was out there, have they been off that Cavs bench?
You include the regular season, the Cavs have averaged nearly 119 points against the Heat. A top 10 D for 6 consecutive seasons. Davion Mitchell can't go anywhere against Mobley, but Adebayo with a clock down in the corner.
That's a heck of a shot by Adebayo, but you can just see offensively right now, they don't have anything to create high-quality shots against that Cavs defense.
Jovic flies in, able to get the rebound. Heat not able to get out in transition. Here's Davion, back-to-back threes.
That was so big for them. Started here for the Heat.
This summer, teams from battling it out for the trophy and, of course, the title of World's Best Soccer Club. The inaugural FIFA Club World Cup begins June 14th on TNT and streaming on DAZN. Coming out of the timeout. Miami, quick 6 points in 27 seconds. Led to that timeout. Get the stop.
Heat looked like the Cavs defensively on that possession. Terrific job on that point of attack defense there from Mitchell on Mitchell that really disrupts the whole play. When you stop that initial thrust, it allows your defense to stay locked in, to keep bodies on bodies. And that was an example of it there on that possession.
Darius Garland out, re-aggravated his big toe. His left big toe in game 2 in the 4th quarter. Second foul on Strus. Adebayo over to Davion Mitchell in the corner. Jovic a 3. Weak side. Mobley battling Adebayo. Last touch by the Cavs. It's Miami ball.
Now they've had the Heat a couple opportunities where they've created an opportunity for Bam to attack Mobley with no help, and he's been a little reluctant. He's going to have to look to win that matchup more often here. They're going to get a baseline out of bounds foul. So it'll be a free throw here for the Heat.
And Kenny Atkinson, we talked about rebounding with him, and he said, we're doing old school rebounding drills. We're trying to do everything we can, but yet the numbers just aren't changing for them.
So it's interesting listening to him talk about that. Part of the issue, Robinson able to knock down the free throw, that's an instinct thing. Like, people, you can drill things to get better, but if you're not instinctively a rebounder, and you'll see that in our league, there's certain guys, they just have a knack. A Josh Hart in New York, certain guys that just have a knack for the ball, tracking it. It's instinctual for them. Some of their guys, that's not necessarily their strength, and you get another unforced error there on Bam. Again, just not really looking to take advantage of his skill set. I think he's a guy, Adebayo, that he can drive, get into the tee, and force the help. That's what they need with their offense. They got to figure out a way to get Cleveland in rotation.
Isaac Okoro checks in. Able to get it into the front court through pressure. Under 10 of the shot clock. Donovan Mitchell. Shot clock down to 5. Working against Highsmith in the paint. Rising up. Oh, what a beautiful shot.
That's about as good as you're going to defend it, but Donovan Mitchell just too special of a player.
Short corner. Bam Adebayo. There you go.
He's going to have to do more, though. Like, Bam's not what I call a natural scorer, but he's just going to have to take the onus upon him, especially with this lineup that they have on the floor, to create more opportunities.
Strus with a 3. Doesn't go. Flying in. Offensive rebound. And Okoro with a putback.
Yeah, and it's like they're just kind of getting whatever they want right there. The timely offensive rebounds.
14-point lead. Adebayo. Pressured by Mobley. Batted away. Mitchell finds Highsmith. And a 3. He was so good on Wednesday night. From downtown, 5 of 6 at 17 points.
He was terrific, and boy, what a good break there for Miami.
Cavaliers defense, GA, has certainly been a factor.
Yeah, sometimes you don't appreciate just how good they are, led by their defensive player of the year and Evan Mobley, but they, at the point of attack, you can see how that ball just goes around, and they're able to get the defense. And you're going to be reluctant.
NBA 13th defensive rating on the road in the first half against the Heat. Jerome, shot doesn't go. Batted by Adebayo. Davion Mitchell. Cavs get back in transition to Mitchell at the elbow, cut off. Adebayo kicks it over to Wiggins. Wiggins now. They'll swing it. Davis on the attack in the corner. Highsmith. And Strus got over. And it's going to be Cavs ball.
Now, even though they don't score there, that's what their possessions need to look like. They've got to get 2 feet in that paint to force Cleveland to at least get in rotation. Much better job on that possession.
Okoro. Over now to Jerome. Shot clock under 10. Strus guarded by the length of Wiggins. The 3. Good over Andrew Wiggins. Wow.
Yeah, That's a mental breakdown there by Wiggins. You know Strus can shoot the basketball. You cannot give up airspace there.
He was 3 of 3 on Wednesday night from three-point range in the second quarter when they made a NBA record 11 threes. The NBA on TNT is brought to you by NerdWallet. And Strus 3 of 6 now from three-point range. Every shot in this series has been from 3 from Max Strus.
Yeah, and that's the issue. You know the game plan is to not give him threes. And just a miscommunication there. Adebayo thinking he's going to be in the corner, and Wiggins starts sliding up on that sideline. But like with a guy like Strus, your job is to not let him shoot threes. You've got to make him a driver, and that's where execution defensively becomes so important here for the Heat.
Jerome attacking Larson. Batted up by Strus and taken by Hero. 14-point deficit for the Miami Heat. Hero, clean look. The three, no. And a collision. And the foul's going to go against Highsmith and the Miami Heat. Chris Quinn and Eric Spoelstra talking about what they want to do next.
You can see the reach in there by Highsmith.
The third on Highsmith.
So it's been physical out there, but generally when the grabbing starts is where the officials are going to say, nah, they're going to let you use your body to kind of dictate the physicality, but the grabbing and the reaching, they're going to try to sway you away from.
Jovic in. Here's Hunter attacking Jovic. And it's going to be a foul on Jovic. Jovic very critical of himself after game 2. He said the stuff at the end, it cost us the game, and I need to be better, right? He was 0 of 4 from 3, had 2 critical turnovers, but a 21-year-old and a right hand injury. His last regular season game, February the 23rd, as Hunter makes the first. Let's take a look at today's NBA playoff schedule. Next on TNT, the Thunder and the Grizzlies, game 4. How about that comeback?
Oh, goodness.
And Denver and the Clippers, game 4, 6 o'clock Eastern on TNT. And then the Rockets and the Warriors, game 3 tonight, 8:30 on ABC. Back to a 16-point advantage. Adebayo in the paint. Jumper doesn't go. Hunter.
Yeah, they're getting some better looks here, but you got to be able to convert.
Oh, up top. As you mentioned earlier, Cavs getting what they want.
Everything. Transition, three-point shots, dominant with Heat.
TNT is presented by NerdWallet. Cavaliers lead 50.
Thanks, Matt. In the Heat huddle, they were preaching, make them dribble, make them put the ball on the floor. We have to get going. Obviously said they have to get stops, but also said, pay attention to those offensive rebounds. Do not let them win that battle, guys.
Adebayo now 3 of 4 from downtown. He's got 13 points. Cavs points in the paint, 24-6. Jerome in the paint again. And Allen throws it off of Adebayo. He was already out of bounds.
Yeah, and that's an example of what Taylor was talking about right there. Force the Cavs to continue to put the ball on the floor. Don't allow them to get in there and then swing it and just create rhythm shots.
Eric Spoelstra telling us both games, game 1, game 2, it's been those 5 to 6 minute stretches, and they've been in one here. Wiggins, and he is fouled. He'll go to the line.
And I get the sense that Wiggins is the guy that they have from an athletic standpoint and an attack mindset that can win one-on-one matchups here against the Cavs.
Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app today and make every playoff moment more on America's #1 sportsbook. Wiggins misses the first. Mobley and Mitchell checking in for the Cavs. They lead by 15. Their largest lead, 19. They led by as many as 19 in game 2, and then the Heat in the fourth quarter made it a one-possession game. Mobley, he will have to try to do it again against the Cavs. Down big. Up top, Allen has just been tremendous. 6 of 6 from the field.
And then just another terrific find by Mobley, who's limping a little bit right now.
Jovic on the deck. Wiggins sidestep 3. Adebayo offensive rebound. Jovic the open look. Allen with a rebound.
Jovic more than capable of shooting that, but he had an opportunity for one more pass to get it to Hero, and Jared Allen just having his way on the rim. He's just assaulting the rim right now for the Cavs.
He can't be stopped. Everything right at the iron. 7 of 7. Larson. Adebayo met by Hunter. And a travel and another turnover. The 11th.
We talked about being a little hobble mobile. You see right there, bang knees with Adebayo. But then here, just a great job of Allen just attacking the rim, spacing it. But their execution in this first half has been flawless offensively.
Mobley into the paint. Scoop shot, no. Chance to get out and go for the Heat. Mitchell finds Wiggins. Wiggins is fouled by Hunter.
Yeah, and we haven't seen much of that, right, where the Heat get out in transition. Cavs have just owned the paint in this game, and they've just dictated the pace and tempo with which it's been played.
Coming up, it's the American Express halftime report with Adam Lefkoe, Shaq, Jalen Rose, and Charles Barkley, all coming up at halftime. 54-35, 2:45 left in this first half as Wiggins' first is good.
Yeah, and you watch Cleveland, you can see just why attack them in this area. They got great positional side, got 2 guards that you can't guard one-on-one, and Mobley there with just another beat rim.
Getting what they want on the inside early in the postseason, right? The expectations of this top seed is a deep run in the postseason. And Garland, you know, a couple of days, right?
Yeah. A lot better version of what we saw from the season ago.
No question about that. As Hero collects a 3, his first of the day.
Now you got 2 minutes to go to finish this half. If you're the Heat, can you get this thing into the single digits?
Donovan Mitchell. Guarded by Davion. Up fake off of the foot of Merrill. Shot clock down to 3. Mitchell. And a turnover. Jovic. Davion lays it up, and they're going to count the bucket. Goaltending. Need to see more of that.
Yeah, well, it's done because of the defense, and then you get a few runouts, get something easy in transition. That's one way to get some confidence and the rhythm back into your offense.
Wiggins working on Hunter. Hunter attacking, strong take, and foul by Wiggins.
For the most part, it's been just an onslaught on the rim. And again, great offensive execution. Terrific job of passing. And I talk a lot of times with bigs, their ability to space the paint. And Mobley and Allen, 2 guys that do a terrific job of creating angles for their teammates to deliver them the ball in rhythm.
Plus 24 in the paint are the Cavaliers. Don't miss a playoff moment with the NBA app. Download the app today for the latest scores, highlights, and behind-the-scenes access to all the drama. Merrill checks out. Hunter at the line. What a first half for DeAndre Hunter coming over at the trade deadline from Atlanta. He's got 14 here in the first half of game 3.
He's just gotten better and better with each game. So that's an example of what we mean about this shell defense. When you cannot get into the teeth of it and you have to just consistently pass it around the perimeter, it puts you as an offensive player on your heel. It doesn't get you into an attack mindset because you can't play downhill.
How much of that is helped by the versatility of an Evan Mobley being able to guard 1 through 5?
It's no question, but then it's also Jared Allen. You can see there, he can move his feet. He can play in space, and that's the modern big. Like, that's what makes, like, you hear this a lot. People say, oh, they don't defend today. Folks, these guys defended every bit as well as anybody. They just have to defend more of the court, and they have to ask guys to play as a big man. They've got to play 30, 35 feet from the basket now. It's not the old school kind of game, and you're going to see Hunter getting back to the line. When you've got 7-footers like Allen and Mobley that can guard 1 through 5, that just completely takes away a lot of what you want to do offensively. And you've seen that. Tyler Hero's a great offensive player. He has to resort to shooting fadeaway threes because he can't get by a guy like Allen or a guy like Mobley. This Cavs team, they are going to be a problem for opposing offenses.
May 25th, the magic is back and the adventure is just beginning in the Librarians. The next chapter. Don't miss the 2-night premiere event starting May 25th on TNT. Also a lot of conversation about the physicality. There is a ton of physicality out on the perimeter in today's NBA.
Oh, it is, and I think that's also was a concern with this Cavs team from a year ago, right? They defensively and this defensively.
It's going to take a huge second half. Cavs have been in control here in the first half. Mobley over top takes Wiggins into the paint. It goes to work.
That's the difference between Evan Mobley last year and this year. He couldn't win that battle consistently against high-level defense.
Largest lead comes to a close. The Cavaliers a dominant first half performance.
Impressive when you think of the fact that Donovan Mitchell only 6 points, no Darius Garland, no problem for this #1 seeded Cleveland Cavaliers team.
Allen with 16, Hunter with 16. That's the end of the first half. After the break, we'll send you to our TNT studios for the American Express halftime report. You're watching NBA playoffs first round coverage on TNT, presented by Nerd Wallet.
Yes! Yes! Yes, that's it! We're doing it as a team.
Yes, they are. The Cavaliers with the lead. Matt Devin alongside Greg Anthony up by 20. And speaking of Kenny Atkinson, he's talked so much about the depth of this team, and it's on full display here in Game 3.
They've been dominant. How about their plus 24 points in the paint, plus 10 off the turnovers. And that's with Donovan Mitchell being pretty pedestrian and no Darius Garland. So there's a reason why this team, many like to have a chance to not just win this series, but potentially be playing for a championship.
Now you go back to Wednesday night. The Heat did win the second half, right? Can they put something together like that? The offense struggled for the Cavaliers in Game 2 in the second half.
Yeah, well, we talked about this guy right here is going to have more of an impact. Only 6 field goal attempts in that first half, so he's going to have to be more aggressive and productive.
Mitchell doesn't go. Second chance here. Mitchell the 3. And a stop for the Miami Heat. Hero 2 of 7 from the field. It's been Adebayo offensively for Miami. Fading shot. Too strong.
And they're going to need a lot more than just Adebayo. And I think the pace, I'm sorry, man, I think the pace needs to pick up too. They're just not good enough to play the last 5 seconds of the shot clock consistently against this Cavs team.
Davion Mitchell, shot doesn't go. Only 2 fast break points for the Miami Heat. Donovan Mitchell, shot doesn't go. Let's send it over to Taylor Rooks.
Thanks, Matt. I chatted with Heat assistant coach Chris Quinn, who said they have to chip away. There's no big play that's going to get them right back in it. Said offensively, the Heat spacing has to be a lot better. They're allowing the Cavs to shrink the court and getting too many turnovers because of it. Said defensively, they're a great shooting team, but they're getting too many points in the paint. I asked him what the Cavs are doing defensively that causes so much disruption. He said they are in the gaps. They're making us pass the ball, and we have to be committed to beating them with the pass, guys.
And Taylor, it's a great point, but you can play gaps when you're not in rotation, meaning when you're not winning matchups in terms of being able to break guys down and get into the teeth of that defense, they can just kind of play zone. Even though it's a man-to-man, if you watch him now, you see how this is like a zone. They don't have to move. They don't have to chase. They can just look at the basketball and squeeze it, and that's got to change if you're the Miami Heat.
Third foul on Strus, and a Hero with a bucket, his third made field goal. So they have together a couple of stops. They need that offense to get going. Mitchell in the paint.
It was a heck of an effort there by Ware to not allow the finish, but then also help him to come out to that offensive unit.
Davion on the inside, and the foul.
And when they can string together stops and then get out in transition, here, Eric, Davion Mitchell with a great way there to draw the foul and the finish. Let's see if that.
Kicked out Davion to Mitchell. Ahead now to Wiggins. Misses just 1 of 5 here.
Yeah, and that's a situation where if you're Wiggins and you got Sam Merrill there, you've got to be able to finish through him.
Mitchell and a quick timeout. Yeah, second half talking to him. Tough shot, but I got that in my bag.
Yeah, he has been known to deliver when you need him. Spider from deep.
Cavaliers up 69-49. Another 20-point lead first round. NBA action presented by Nerd Wallet. Heat down 20 again. Donovan Mitchell started the quarter 0 of 5 from the field, and then he hit that three-pointer.
And you know, that's all it takes for big scorers to see one go through.
You saw that in the fourth quarter. Can Wiggins get going? Rattles in the three. Shaking his head like finally. And they need that.
They do, and he's really their X factor. He's a guy who can be dynamic offensively. He had a 40-point game late in the season, a 30-point game as well before the injury.
Hunter gets it right back from the corner. Wiggins averaged 20 in the 2 play-in games. Davion attacking. Chance to get out and go for the Heat. Said it before, they need more of that. Ty Jerome. And a foul. And Bill Kennedy saying it's on the floor. And the foul's going to be on Hero. It's going to be shot out of bounds for the Cavaliers as Dean Wade checks in. Wade in for Merrill.
And that's the other thing. Everybody who's come on the floor for the Cavs has had a positive impact. Wade came up with some great loose balls. He's been terrific point of attack defensively as well.
Jerome. Deep three. Feeling it. Ty Jerome from distance.
Looking like he did in game 1. Just what a luxury to have a guy with that skill set and positional size coming off your bench.
Unrestricted free agent in the summer. Hello. As Wiggins misses. 21-point lead. Largest of the day for the Cavs. And kicked out of bounds.
Ty Jerome's been so good with his decision making all game long. Able to knock down the triple. And Crew is feeling the way he's playing. Also a game high 8 assists as well.
Bench for the Cavs plus 21. Jerome on the road this year during the regular season shot better than 46% from 3. As Davion's going to get called for the foul guarding Hunter. He's just been so impactful. And Hunter here in game 3 off of the bench with 19.
He is just exploded. And this is the danger zone right now if you're the Miami Heat. The entire series probably rests on the next 3 minutes.
Jerome, clock down. Jerome, finger roll. Looks back at the bench. A collision underneath. And Bam is down. And slow to get up. Goes up and over top of Highsmith.
Goodness. Now to break that fall.
He's just so tough. 13.6 rebounds here in game 3. And Eric Spoelstra coming over having a word with Rodney Mott, and I think they want to take Bam saying, hey, I'm fine, but I'm going to bring Ware in. And I think John Goble is saying that he's got to come out that extended time on the floor. And Bam's just going to go right back to the scorer's table.
Yeah, to be expected. You know how tough that young man is. And as we said, I think they all sense right now that something's got to happen here in the next few minutes if the Heat want to have any chance of salvaging this series.
Mobley in for Allen. Davion Mitchell up top. 77-54. Cavs here in game 3. Robinson back over to Davion Mitchell. Clock down. Wade staying with them. Highsmith has to release in a hurry. And Mobley will bring it across the timeline. Dean Wade rises up. And the three doesn't go. Batted out of bounds. And last touch by Hero.
And that last offensive possession kind of indicative of the entire game. Just stagnant for Miami, not able to really create any space. And you end up taking a forced, tough, deep three.
How much of that has been the defense of the Cavaliers? Just a lack of movement offensively by the Miami Heat.
You're exactly right. Their offense is allowing the size of Miami or Cleveland to take over.
Corner three for Mitchell. Back to 20. On the drive, Ty Jerome. Flexing.
How good he continues to excel here.
Look at that disparity. Points in the paint. 3:25 left in the third. Again, cut off. Mitchell in the paint. Jerome with the rebound. Just no flow offensively for Miami.
Cleveland's just done a great job of kind of blowing up what they want to do. And then at that point, it just takes them out of having an opportunity. Offense, you want to create an advantage, right? You want to put a team in rotation where you as an offensive player get to dictate. And that's just not been the case here because of how good Cleveland's been defensively, particularly at the point of attack.
Donovan Mitchell rising up. Doesn't go. Hero, long rebound. Cleveland gets back. Hero through the paint with a left. Got it.
But even that, right? How difficult was that finish by Hero?
In a crowd and no basket, according to Rodney Bond.
You know, you don't see this very often off of a made three. Look how quickly they get it in. They recognize an advantage. The kick ahead gives Ty Jerome really an opportunity to go one-on-one against Hero. Just a great heads-up play by Mobley there to get that ball in bounds.
Foul on Highsmith. That's going to be his fourth. Earn badges to win prizes with the NBA ID Playoffs Challenge. Members in the U.S. and Canada who complete the challenge get the chance at a trip to the NBA Draft. Play now, May 12th. He comes away with Cooper.
Дышит бесстыдно, непробудно, счет потерять ночам и дням. И с головой от хмеля трудный пройти сторонкой в Божий храм. 3 раза преклониться долу, 7 осенить себя крестом, тайком к заплеванному полу горячим прикоснуться лбом. Кладя в тарелку грушек медный, ты да еще 7 раз подряд поцеловать столетний бедный и зацелованный оклад. Есть игра, осторожно выйти, чтоб внимание людей усыпить и глазами добычу найти, и за ней незаметно следить. Как бы ни был нечуток и груб человек, за которым следят, он почувствует пристальный взгляд, хоть в углах еле дрогнувших губ.
Oh, heaven knows, men know that I love you so much, Jamila. Ooh, yes I do. You left my world and left me so cold. Now I'm wondering how I'm gonna get you back. Hey, nothing about to make it right. Jamila ki yafe mun. Na dawo gida ban ga Jamila ba, na dawo gida ban ji muryanta ba. Hey, wayo, a neman mun Jamila. Jamila, don Allah gida gida, babu abin da zai raba mu har abada. Jamila, zuciya na ɓaciwa. Gida gida, gida gida, gida gida. Ooh, no matter what people do or say, this love will never die. If I knew I never hurt you so bad, drinking so much, too much women.